These are indeed strange times. How could Barack Obama, the man who faced vicious, racist conspiracies for years because of Trump, act so buddy-buddy with him? Does he not remember how his entire political party has been calling the man a fascist, an autocrat, a threat to democracy for months, if not years?
Today, Don Lemon throws a temper tantrum over Obama and Donald Trump laughing at Jimmy Carter's funeral, while Stephen A. Smith and Charlamagne the God also expressed some confusion that Obama would be so chummy with someone who he called a threat to democracy, because they're realizing behind all that charisma is just another grifter, power-hungry politician. Now, you guys were asking when I would take down my Christmas decorations behind me, so I made sure I did that. Now, my 15-foot tree, I am not touching till May. But let's get into desperate Don Lemon's childish reaction to Obama and Trump laughing it up. Watch.
Yes, you saw that right, my friends. Your eyes are not deceiving you. That was former presidents Obama and Trump yucking it up together, chatting and giggling like kids on the playground, like they were longtime pals, they were buddies. How could Barack Obama, the man who faced vicious, racist conspiracies for years because of Trump, act so buddy-buddy with him? Does he not remember birtherism? Does he not remember how for years Trump lied about how he was secretly born in Africa? Does he not remember how Trump suggested that he was secretly a Muslim who was sympathetic to terrorist groups and terrorist causes? Perhaps more critically, does he not remember how his entire political party has been calling the man a fascist, an autocrat, a threat to democracy for months, if not years?
What I find so funny about this is ever since Donald Trump won the election, the Democrat establishment has just been spitting on their supporters. I mean, they found out that their polls were lying to them, that their news pundits were lying to them, that their politicians were lying to them, and now they're finding out that the head of their ideology was lying to them as well. It should have been a wake-up call to them when Joe Biden put on that Make America Great Again hat and was smiling and joking about it. If you really thought the man was Hitler, and you really believed that his hat was some sort of symbolic comparison to a swastika, you wouldn't put that on jokingly. It really exposed the desperation and the failures of the Democrat Party, where their only strategy was to try to disparage the opponent as much as they could by any means possible to avoid the fact that they were true failures for the last 4 years. But let's watch this next part, because this is when Don Lemon finally opens his eyes and realizes he's been lied to. Watch.
What was the alternative? Not to watch Jimmy Carter be laid to rest? Now, I think he had no choice, but laughing at Trump's jokes on camera, it was risky, kind of cringy. Optics like this are things that Democrats have to consider going forward. They spent years, if not months, if not years, labeling Trump a political aberration, someone cruel, if not evil, outside the norm. Their voters may feel lied to if they appear to embrace him now. You can't just memory hole comparing someone to Hitler. So Democrats, you've got to keep in mind ahead of Trump's inauguration, and frankly, for the next 4 years, like what that looks like. Your behavior around the man will matter. It does matter. You can't allow Karen Pence to present as a more steadfast defender of democracy, a more courageous critic of Trump than yourselves.
So what he's suggesting is, even though Democrats fighting so hard against Trump's common sense agenda proved to lose them the election, he wants them to double down on it so he and other Democrat supporters can feel vindicated. They want to feel morally superior. They want to feel justified that their stupid decisions, like cutting off family members and friends for their political ideology, was a good decision because they were fighting against evil. They don't want to feel stupid that they cut off people close to them over political differences, but the two leaders of the warring ideologies are acting like friends. Now, Charlamagne the God, who has been railing on Democrats ever since they lost the election, comments on this interaction and says to him it looks like Obama was kissing the ring. Watch.
I just think politics is all WWE. And, meanwhile, we out here, cutting off family and friends and business relationships because of who somebody chose to vote for. Like, stop running to kick that football, man. Cut it out. Politics is all WWE. It's really just that simple for me.
They really could have been talking about the NFL. They could have been talking about anything.
Yeah, but after you went so hard, calling somebody a threat to democracy and calling somebody a fascist, and now you just, chummy with the man. You told us he was a threat to democracy. To me, that's just terrible political optics. They was calling him a fascist, just like his VP called him Hitler. Would you giggle with Hitler? Meanwhile, Republicans demonize Democrats every chance they get. Bruce Fisher wouldn't even shake the VP's hand. But you got the last real leader of the Democratic Party, Barack Obama, laughing and giggling with Trump. Looking like, yeah, he is. He's kissing the ring.
Now, I don't think Obama was kissing the ring in the sense of he's worried that Trump is going to try to prosecute him or anything like that. But Obama is one of the most power-hungry politicians that has ever existed. So he's kissing the ring in the sense that he's blowing in whatever direction the wind is. And he wants to maintain favorability with whoever's in charge. That way he can sustain his political prowess. Politics is just for show. You have some of the scummiest sycophants in the country pretending to be dignified and honorable and classy and have decorum. But these people often engage in the most despicable behavior that you could ever imagine. That was one of the major draws to Donald Trump, even before he ran for politics. He would say what's on his mind, and he never cared whether the person liked him or not for it. That's why when he entered politics, people were so excited, because for once, somebody not corrupted by the fakeness of Washington, D.C. was in charge. Democrats would rather be lied to by their politicians and have them pretend to be so polished and clean and upstanding, even though they aren't. The Obama and Trump interaction to me looked like two friends who are roasting each other and someone says something completely out of hand. It's like, you're fat, you're stupid, well, you suck at math, well, you can't throw a baseball, well, you're a Nazi, whoa, 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 whoa. And Obama's like, oh, sorry, man, you know we were just joking around. You know the game gets a little out of hand sometimes. Now watch Stephen A. Smith, who's basically gone full MAGA ever since the Democrat Party imploded on themselves, tell his viewers that they need to start thinking for themselves and stop following these Democrat politicians because they are liars.
It wasn't a good look, but it wasn't a good look because of Trump. It wasn't a good look because of all the things that were said about Trump during the campaign while you were trying to convince tens of millions of people to vote for Kamala Harris. Fascist, threat to democracy, people bringing up Nazis and all of this stuff when they talked about Trump. So maybe if you hadn't said all of those things, people wouldn't be going off like this. See, to me, I look at it totally differently. I look at it from this standpoint. Everything goes in politics. We understand that. But in the end, it just shows how we should be very selfish in our thinking in terms of us and what's in the best interest of the country, as opposed to listening to what the hell these politicians say, because we just can't trust them. We just can't trust them. The likelihood is that Obama didn't mean half the things that he alluded to or flat out said about Trump.
His point highlights one of the key reasons the Democrats lost, which is they were trying to tell people what they should care about, and Trump was listening to what people said that they cared about. How many times per month do you think the average Democrat was sitting around worried about democracy? Or saying, you know what would make my life better and easier? If we just opened up the border more. Compare that to how many people per month were sitting around thinking, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to put food on the table? How many young men were sitting around looking at these global wars saying, wow, things are getting really bad. What if I get drafted? The Democrat platform was all about telling people what they should find important, just for them to find out and realize that their politicians don't even find those things important. That's why he's saying, look inside, ask yourself what's important to you. Stop letting the Joy Reids of the world convince you what issues you should care about. Now he goes in on the Democrats for being hypocrites about Trump's border policies and exposes that Obama was called the deporter-in-chief. Watch.
Obama deported more, sent more back than Trump did. He just didn't advertise it. So when Trump talks about closing the borders and not allowing over 14 million legal immigrants into the country and stuff like that, Obama just didn't advertise it, but he damn sure did it. He made sure it didn't happen. It was the antithesis of what Joe Biden did. Joe Biden ordered to open the borders, didn't give any kind of explanation whatsoever. Obama was considered the deporter-in-chief. That brother was not playing when it came to illegal immigrants entering the country. He turned them back, and the ones that were here, he deported a lot of them. He wasn't messing around. He wasn't mincing words. He wasn't playing games. So in that regard, there are some similarities.
I've watched street interviews where the guy will interview Democrats and list policies that they vehemently disagree with, And then when he exposes that they're Obama policies, they're just stumped. They're just following what the Democrat Party says or choosing to care about whatever the Democrat Party says is important. And this election woke a lot of Democrats up because they're realizing that they're just being led blindly off the side of a cliff. I hope more Democrats keep waking up, especially my black brothers and sisters, because we can't let the Democrats get back in charge if their platform is just going to keep being these woke policies that are destructive and divisive for the country. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those notification bells so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.